Well, welcome back to the shed. I'm working tonight on a very old Boots audio record player. Now, Boots audio was made by Boots the Chemist chain here in the UK, and the older farts among us will know this. And I remember them first in the 60s, making audio video equipment, or audio visual as it then was. It was things like cameras and slide projectors, and even cine projectors, I believe, were manufactured under the Boots name. So it was in radios and televisions and tape recorders, cassettes, and of course record players. This one was made for the Boots chain by, well, just look at the style of it, you can see that it's clearly a Philips. It was made in France, mains only set, and the speakers form the lid. It does have the germanium transistors that sometimes play about, actually, with the older Philips kit. And every now and again you have to open it up and give it a bit of a tap on the output transistors, and sometimes you'll get a crackle and they come back to life. Long term, only thing to do really is replace the transistor if you can get a replacement, usually from the older Eastern Bloc countries, oddly enough. They seem to be alright. Someone told me once that Toshiba germanium transistors from Japan don't go down the same way. The germanium that we used to get here tended to get an effect called tin whiskers inside it, which was almost like electrolysis. And in the end it would short the transistor out, so nothing happened at all. Yeah, great stuff. But this one seems to be in reasonable voice at the moment. Casing was in a bit of a shocking state, and I've had to revarnish the wood, which actually is plywood. I'll give it its due. The 4 ohm speakers plug in here, and there's the inevitable 5-pin DIN connection on the back if you want to record from it. And it goes straight from the tone arm into there, or of course you can switch it on and play something into it. The speakers form the lid, as much Philips kit used to be made in those days. This set dates from the late 60s. Runs on 4 different mains voltages, but the speakers are truly odd. They sound pretty nice, mind you, but just take a look at that. That is one of the drivers. They're only single way things, and the only way I can best describe this speaker is as being inside out, because that's what it seems to be, where you should be able to see the full cone, like you can on this one, say, you've got the magnet. And they did this for a reason, because they wanted a low profile speaker which had a deep enough cone to sound nice. And so they thought a bit out of the box, as they say nowadays, and put the magnet in the front. It wasn't only Philips that used this design by a long way, but it seems to have been more popular perhaps here in Europe than it was in the States, shall I say. And I don't think I've ever come across any Japanese equipment that features this sort of thing either. And if you look at the back of it, well, there's almost nothing there. Just the code. AD 4571, and I think it says BY. 36168, so this was actually made in 68. That's the week number, I believe, and the year. But for what they are, they don't sound too bad at all. They're roughly 5 by 7 inches.
Nobody wants to know him. They can see that he's just a fool, and he never gives an answer. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. Well on the way, head in a cloud, the man of 1,000 voices talking perfectly loud. But nobody ever hears him, or the sound he appears to make, and he never seems to notice. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round.
Not a bad sound at all. It certainly knocks one I saw the other day into a cocked hat. It came from the Crapaphone stable, and although it looks something like this, the one I saw was shocking orange, and the speakers formed the lid, but that's about where the similarity stopped. This one you could get a nice convenient stylus for, and if you wanted to play 78s, because this will play 33s, 45s and 78s, and there's even a 45 adapter hidden away in one of the speakers. All you do with this one is just flip the needle over to 78 and away you go. With the Crapaphone one, you'd have to get a separate and very expensive needle for it, and given how flimsy the tone arms are on those things, I don't think it'd take too many times before you, geschnappen dein Spriggenwerken mit bloody fucking Moochen swearen. Another thing that this has is volume, balance and tone controls. You don't often see that on those either. And if you do, it's very, very scratchy and rudimentary after only a few months' use. So, yep, I still think the best thing to do if you can, if you want a record player that's portable, is to go vintage, and if you'll excuse the wank speak V word, it's all the rage nowadays, isn't it? And get an old set in decent condition and use that, because for one thing, this cartridge and tone arm, the tracking weight can be adjusted. A Crapaphone's tracking weight, like a Crossley or a Prolectric or whatever, you cannot adjust. And if you're going to play 78s on it as well, chances are you will ruin the needle, and your LPs and 45s will go the same way. Yes, nice, I don't think. Of course, they don't tell you that, do they? Anyway, enough for Crapaphone bashing. Back to the proper stuff. Anyway, I hope you like this peculiar Survivor from years ago. The inside-out speakers weren't made just in this size. There was a more or less 6x4, which tended to sound rather tiddy. There were different incarnations of a 6-inch round one as well, some with a frame similar to this and a big ceramic magnet at the front, some with the frame similar to the normal type of 6-inch speaker, with the frame on the back and a bolt and stay holding a smaller Alnico magnet in the front. But in all events, they do look weird, don't they? Anyway, see you soon.